Okay. Hi, everybody. So
Hi.
this is officially a global alliance of modern day alchemists call, where we're going to show people how we do Murmuration of Maestro calls, which essentially is what I kind of put together years ago about collaborative genius fusion, or another term for it could be kaleidoscopic creation. And the heart of that is that every single person is a maestro. They're all unique, they're all masterful, they're all powerful, they all work differently. We do not have to be doing the same things at all. And then when we work together, we innovate consciousness, we create new realities, and we make new futures. So that's kind of, it falls out of our collaborative genius fusion, is how I would say it. And by the way, I'm going to record this call and put it up in the Alliance group later publicly so people will see it, just so everybody knows.
Mhm.
So I thought, when I was getting ready for the call, I thought, how do you describe the difference between conscious innovation, reality creation, and future making? Like, whoa, like there's a thing to tackle, right? To try and define the differences in those things. Because I think what we do, I think it's quite unique what we do together as a Murmuration of Maestros. So here's what I came up with about it. So consciousness innovation is about bringing in new possibilities to remake the consciousness of the world. So it's all about calling in newness. And I would say possibilities is a good term for it. In fact, for me, that's what moved me from a transformer or a visionary into an alchemist. I went from moving with working with potential to working with possibilities. And you can see that's what we do in the Maestros group, right? We work with possibilities and newness.
Mhm.
So then what's reality creation? Well, it's kind of the landing of this newness, these new possibilities, this new consciousness into the fabric of reality. And we would all do that differently. So that that's where this collaborative genius fusion comes in because Mary, for example, might do the weave and Goody might do some beautiful thing of it, and Colin might do some engineering architect of it. And you see what I mean? Like each one is doing a different facet of what then all comes together to create a new version of reality. And when I say reality, it's the fabric of reality. It's so I think we would have called that a matrix up until just recently. I would refer to it as the matrix of reality or the construct of consciousness. But it's changed in the last months, big
Mhm.
time. So it doesn't occur like a matrix anymore. Have the rest of you seen that shift too? Like it occurs differently. And even we were working like a year or two ago or three, we were working with the quantum field, and even the quantum field is now like here. It's like present. It's in the space of us. It's in the cells of us. It's alive in the world. There's a sentient source intelligence in everything. There's an interwoven interconnectedness. So rather than reality looking like a matrix, which is more like, kind of thing, it looks like waves and dips and dives and dots and dashes and like it doesn't look and
Mhm.
feel. It's more sensory, I would say. It's not really like I'm seeing it. It's more of a sensory feel that it's less structured. It's more
Definitely. Yeah.
dynamically interwoven and intercreational in the moment than it used to be, is how I would say that about reality creation. And then there's future making. So what's the difference between all consciousness innovation, reality creation, and future making? Well, with future making, I think that's more about sourcing the energetics of it all into life in the world. So reality creation is you're taking the fabric of reality, but future making, you're elevating humanness,
Mm.
evolving, elevating and elevating humanness and interconnecting all the species in us and growing, elevating the intelligences. And it's more like that, that dynamically creates a different future from where
Mm.
we exist. So that's my definition of those three things. And I don't think I've ever talked about it quite like that before. And we've kind of mentioned it in some of our calls, but it's kind of interesting. So any of you in the Meisters group, do you want to say anything about how you might see those things differently than what I was talking about?
I noticed that
Mm.
Ariel has her hand up.
Oh, did you want to say something there?
Yeah, I just want to say that I have always seen um, the fabric, like of the energy field, that it's like a tapestry that
Yeah,
we're all weaving together.
yeah,
I've never really related to the matrix idea.
yeah, I get
That's
that.
very mechanistic to me.
Yes, it is very
And
much
so I've
so.
always seen it more from the female,
Yeah,
like in the Middle Ages, the women spent all their time, that they had free working on tapestries, creating tapestries. So
yeah,
I feel like that's what we're doing now, you know, consciously,
yeah,
creating the picture we want to see in the tapestry. Not just before, my view has always been it's been kind of a passive thing. It's happening. There's dark, mostly dark. There's some gold threads, some beautiful pictures in there, but mostly it's like like an ongoing weaving, of a
yeah,
a timeline of a tapestry, kind of, of what's happening. But now I'm seeing it far more actively. Your group is helping me to see it this way,
yeah.
that we can actually weave a tapestry that's what we want to see, with a lot more light in it.
Yes. And one of the things that came out of my mouth, I think last week and this week on our calls with the maestros, is that it's now a living field. The field itself is alive, intelligent, interwoven, interconnective, shared. It's a living thing as opposed to like constructs the way, like if you think of the human construct of consciousness, how it is to be a normal human, that's a construct. But this is more like a living, dynamic, super creational, intelligent, interwoven everythingness as a living field. And we were talking in the Meisters group
Mm.
about how to walk as the living field instead of walking
Yeah.
as ourselves. We were playing with some of that this week, which was really fun. So, yeah. So, any of you want to comment on any of that? That was brilliant, Ariel. Thanks. Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything about it? Yeah, Mary, and then Colin.
Well, I love that Ariel because I've always seen the sort of our connections and the energy fields as weaving. I haven't quite seen it in the weaving a tapestry in the way that you've just described. That's really beautiful. Thank you. Sort of weaving the pictures and the future that we want to see. I've
Yeah.
always seen it as all being connected by all the different threads across time and space and all those things. So I really appreciate adding that view you've just shared into my view of how the tapestry works and the weave works. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, Colin.
Yeah, the way that it's feeling right now is, and because we've been bringing in this new each time, it feels different each time we talk it.
Yeah.
And the what I sense is that the more we talk it, the more we try and explain how we're feeling. It permeates into each one of us, and we become almost like points on the weave.
Yeah.
So however you describe the weave, I see it, I'm with Solera on this one. I'm seeing it as a very fluid, it's very undulating, it moves in and out. But bobbing up on this, there's us. we're there. We're part of the weave. We are the weaver. We're, we're the source of all at the same time.
Yeah.
And yet here we are as humans as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
And that's, I think we're just learning how do we relate all that together, and we're kind of drawing that knowing through us, and it's accelerating. I mean, this week has been astonishing
Yeah.
for me. I've just been reconnecting with people that I've known, for many years, and it's just percolating, and
Yeah.
it's almost like we reach a point where suddenly that's right. Suddenly, all of this comes together, and the other part of this seems to be all of our aspects are lining up. So wherever we've known ourselves to be, or whether we know them there or not, they're all lining up and
Mhm.
bringing through almost like this massive, brilliant focus of us. So we're focused now as well. So it's
Yes.
bringing all these things together, and this we're each one of us are these incredible beings of light that are focused. I
Yeah.
can't think of a better word really. So we're mega bright because of all this, funneling of ourselves.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then it goes across, doesn't it? It goes across into everything and everyone, and we all see each other on this web.
Yes. Beautiful. Yeah,
Oh,
Julia.
totally agree, Colin. Um, and also, it's although it's a wave, it's constantly morphing, constantly changing, and it's constant in its inconstancy of
Yes.
doing so. And it's with so much ease and grace, nothing is difficult.
Yes.
And yet, as it's all changing, so there's a sameness underneath. Um, it's a bit like, this might be a silly thing to compare it to. I don't know if you all know the 1812 overture. Well, that's the bass song underneath. And then suddenly the cannons go boom, boom, boom. So it's a bit like we're the bass of the song, the flow, the life. And then there's boom, boom, boom bits. But they're not banging. They're like wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And the bass line is us all together,
Yeah.
and the rest of it is just easy. It's
Mm.
just
And
so wonderfully
joyful.
easy.
And joyful, Julia, right? It's
Oh yeah,
joyful. That's one of the
definitely.
keys to the whole thing is the joy of it.
And it's the joy of the morphing and the joy of what's
Yeah.
next, and the flow into the what's next. It's just
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Because that's
Mhm.
beautifully said, all of you. So there's the ever knewingness of it all. And then there's the incredible joy that comes from operating in this way where everyone is a magnificent maestro bringing their uniqueness. There's no directive way to do this. Like it's spontaneously in the moment we discover what each of us is doing, and then we fuse it, you could say, into an alchemical pot, but I don't think it's that literal. And then it becomes the next new movement for us all, which is exciting. So yeah. Goody, anything you want to add?
Well, last Monday when we were on the call with the Australians and New Zealand, it, it was coming through again and again that we are standing under the name of murmuration, that we are now like making and weaving this song, this symphony, grandly in the scheme of things. And I don't really have words for what's happening, but I know I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing in the fields of energy if I hadn't connected in this way. So that's my certainty, that I always connect with the group, and then I become my power
Yeah,
as part of it, and grander for it, and more synchronicity.
yeah,
So
I've just kind of let go of trying to have all these, high conversation always about it. It's just the knowing.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'm listening to something, and then somebody says something. And I said, oh, I was doing that. Oh, of course, because it's this and that. So it's like always this information is coming to say, you're on the right path. Just don't go into your head about it. Just continue doing the work that comes to you and be your own energy in that conversation or creating that field of the tapestry of us all.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So,
I think
yeah.
the awe and wonder of it all is that we are different, and at the same time we are the same.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
And
think
it's
we meet in having a passionate desire to make the universe, the infinite, whatever, and the world something excitingly brand new, like to elevate it to new heights. I think that's where we meet there, and we all come at it with different skills and talents and genius and abilities and mastery and power, and that's the joy of it. So that's really exciting. And we are going to play with this so we can try it out. So, Centauri, do you want to add anything to any of that conversation?
Well, I was just thinking the conversation that you and I had this morning, when I said that I had this little bit of an earache again, and you were trying to sense what it was feeling energetically, and you had to go at a distance to
Yeah,
be able to feel the energy of it. It wasn't right in here. And you said something which I said, yes, I already know that I'm listening for something.
yeah,
I'm listening for something which operates on a different frequency than we can ordinarily pick up. And you said that it would seem to you to be like I'm listening for the epicness,
yeah.
the epic
A
nature of
new epic
life,
story. Yeah,
the epic story that we are co-creating together.
yeah,
What does it sound like? What does it feel like?
yeah,
How is it composed? And the sense that I know that I'm operating on different frequencies, and that it's quite an easy thing to distance yourself in those ways, making some compartmentalization to make the whole process so much easier. That it isn't just a one thing that I'm focused on. I'm focused on a variety of
yeah,
different things, working on them simultaneously. And I think as a modern day alchemist, I'll put that catch line in there. I think as a modern day alchemist, you're quite able to feel the bigness of what it is and the nature of what it is that you are working on and what life is presenting itself to you,
yeah,
and how you know in so many different ways how to relate to the different flows and weaves and the greatness of things that present themselves to you, how you translate that into ordinary actions, how you write about it, how you think about it, and what does it do to you as someone who just has this amazingly wide grasp
yeah,
of the greatness of life. And I was just thinking, yeah, I feel that I'm a whole being, well, a whole entity, something that which comes from a place of wholeness as a natural knowing of who I might create myself to be anyway. That there isn't this distinction of light and dark, and that light and the dark come together and they form something new. No, it's whatever you want it to be. You are a wholeness of creation. You are something that just sits up and says, yes. And then there's the fire that comes from the speaking of something which you're passionate about, and you're dedicating your energy to something which you know is going to be impactful, and people are going to relate to it and respond to it and react to it in so many different varieties of ways, because you know that the whole thing wants to be that. It isn't just a sameness in here and there. It's about a fizzing of activity. And that again is the alchemical movement.
yeah,
It's something which is woof,
yeah,
like that. And that woof somehow just vibrates itself. It has a vibration, it has a song, it has a meaning, it has context. And we're putting all that together and creating a different sort of life relationship so that people can really understand what it is, what modern day alchemists are talking about.
Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, brilliant. Well, look, let's do it. So we can see what newness wants to happen with us now. So Ariel, because you haven't done this with us before, but I'm sure you've done it in your life. So, but there's no direction to it. I just say go, and we all line up together. We all just do whatever you. I usually say what wants to happen, to see what wants to happen. So you're reaching for the newness. And then each one of us usually shares what we get, and we start to get a sense of something formulating and coming together and growing. And then we do it a couple of times, and it grows into something. That's the process by which we kind of do this. It's very loose. It's collaborative genius fusion, each one their own masterful creator kind of thing. So, okay, let's demonstrate it and do it. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go. Okay. Ooh, there was a lot happening in there. It wasn't just one thing, but this relates. So I did my first alchemist apprentice call with a wonderful, wonderful lady being yesterday. And one of the things I said, I wrote a post about it, was um, we've been embodying our greater beings, but now we're evolving what beingness is. And that's what this looked like. It was like we're becoming something different. It's a different, it's not a model or a modality or it's not, it's different. And when I was getting ready to do the magazine, I produced this, the AI produced this image. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a head on it. And I thought, that looks like the new beingness to me. It's all this interwovenness and this, it's not like anything before. It's like we are the fabric of reality in some way. We are the universal creation or whatever we choose to be. And it was like that. And then there were other pieces happening, but that's what I started to put my focus on for me. So I'll be interested to see what the rest of you say was happening for you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Colin.
So I was asking that the highest expression of me come through, and what I saw was this sort of flow of me. I can't describe it because I didn't have form, but I what I was able to do was sprinkle what looked, I'll call it source dust for lack of a better word, but these little particles of brilliance, source, creator, and kind of knew how they worked. And I was just sprinkling them over this, over our weave, if you like, dotted, and it was bursting with life everywhere. Every potential was being realized. That whatever creative ideas we were having were bubbling up, and
Wow.
it just seemed to be a thing to do. I'll just do that.
Oh, that's
So that
very
was what I was doing.
cool. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, Colin, I was in on an express train, and this express train, I knew it was unstoppable. It would keep going forever and ever and ever, and it was wonderful because I was sprinkling fairy dust off it. And the express train was wonderful. It was great.
You see the synergy between those two, right? And I could see like there was flashes in the field. That we were working in. You could see these flashes in all different colors. So it makes sense what you're talking about. So yeah. Wow, beautiful. Who else?
I was I was saying that the sun or the central sun is now clearing sounds like you, and it was about the high pitched C. I'm not a big musical, so I went into Google, and there is a high pitched C. So it's like Centauri with his ear. It is there. We are receiving new frequencies or remembering new frequencies again, and they are in higher pitch, more clear, and they are bringing in the new frequencies. So that's where I was doing.
Beautiful. Yeah, we talked about that this week on the Tuesday call that we did because it was like if you go to a certain high frequency now, like you're in a different version of reality altogether. It's a whole, but it's not just some betterment of what we've got. It's a whole different strata of how life is. And in that space, it's amazing in that space. We were talking about, well, how do we live there more and how do we create from that space more and how do we give the world that more and more and more so everyone can thrive in that, kind of thing. So yeah, beautiful.
In my view and my sense was that just by noticing and being aware of it coming into our collective again, that is starting it. So not worrying about, just continuously listening and being in what experiences we receive.
Yeah.
Oh, Goonie, that was fantastic because I was sort of came across some silences. And I thought there were silences, but there weren't, and I didn't quite comprehend it. But what you just said, that was perfect.
Brilliant. Yeah. Anybody else? No? Okay. Okay, so now you can see how there's a synergy in what we're each getting, even though it's different with each one. But now we're going to do it again. So now that we talk about it for a little bit, we start to get it like, oh yeah, maybe this is what we're doing. But again, we're not like, okay, we're now trying to create this. It's more like, well, then where from there? What next wants to happen? And as we keep doing it, we might do it 2 or 3 times. It formulates itself in some way, and then we can bring that either into our own realities or into the world's reality or into the universal, you know, scape of it all if we want to. So let's do it again and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Okay. Whew. It gets more blissful every time. It's just amazing. Um, there's a sense of being everythingness, of being an alchemical activator of everythingness, as opposed to I am a person or I am a being or I am this or I'm doing that. Or it's like it's everythingness all at once. And you're an alchemical activation point for it. And this something new was coming into everything and absorbing, and it was the oceans and the trees and the mycelium network and the bees and the whales and and the all of that. It was all of it. The earth itself, everything was. It wasn't them rising up into it. It was it coming into everything as this brilliant, joyous way of being all everythingness. That's the only way I can probably talk about it is like that for now. So, but it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
You left out the fairies.
Yeah, Julia.
The express train came back again, and it was still the express train, and suddenly it burst into flames, and it became a dragon flying through the air in flames. And I said, "What's this about?" And they said, "It's power. It's power. It's a beautiful, serene power, and the flames from the dragon were power, and
Oh,
it's just what we're doing is so powerful."
Yes, and describe the power, Julia. It's not normal power, is it?
Oh no, it's not. Um, no, I can't express what it is. I know what you mean, and I can't express. It's not a power over. It's not a nasty power. It's a loving one, giving love to all the goodness and everything, the nature, and as you say, it's not a power over. It's a power with and for and loving,
Yeah,
and it was lovely.
like in an exhilarating
Mm,
way. It's like the almost the recognition of life in such an exhilaration of ways of seeing it. It's so beautiful. Yeah,
mm.
gorgeous. Thanks. Yeah. Hi, Brenda. So welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, thrilled to have you with us. So I did when we started this call, I described kind of how we work as a Murmuration of Maestros and how we do this. So we've just been doing it twice. So we're just describing what we were experiencing as we were doing this, what I would call collaborative genius fusion. So, or kaleidoscopic creation, where each one is a maestro and each one is, and then we're formulating something new into place. So we'll just pick up. This was our second go. We're going to do a third one as well, so you get to join in and see how that
Awesome.
feels. So, yeah, super. Okay, Colin, go for it.
Okay, so this time I was taken somewhere different, which was interesting. Um, and I felt a collaboration of, so I can't describe where I was exactly, but we were very aware of how it all weaves. I could use the weave again. And then the imagery changed to a spider's web, with me like at the center. But the spider's web wasn't just two-dimensional, or it was three-dimensional. In fact, it was a sphere,
Yeah,
a sphere. Okay. And so what I saw was all of our spheres, we're all doing this, all slightly overlapping, and we're merging in, and then we're going back out again. And this is a very fluid thing going on here. But it all has some sort of meticulous precision as
yeah,
well. So we are absolutely on the ball with this. We know how this works. We have this skill, and we have the ability to bring these new reality into being. And I just, it's a little bit like Julia in a way. I absolutely, the power is immense. But to describe how it's moving and where it's coming from, it is like it's all in my fingertips. It's bursting out through my heart. It's coming from everywhere. It's going everywhere.
yeah,
It's like you're just part of I don't know, a divine creation. Yeah,
yeah,
I've run out of words.
yeah. Maybe a month or 5, 6 weeks ago, Colin brought up a book he had been reading. It's a fantasy channel type novel, and he talked about being the architects as what came from this book. And we all on the Murmuration of God, yeah, architects, yes,
We are
yeah,
architects.
architects of a new designing of creation of life, of worlds, of realities, of possibilities, of that kind of thing. So yeah. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Who else? What'd you get? Yeah.
I was continuing with that sound of the high pitched C, and then I was kind of seeing an image like that the sun is remaking or is revitalizing, or the power, like Julia was talking about power. And you know how this experiment where they have the slit in the quantum, and when they're not noticing, they're random, and as soon as they're focused upon, they slide through it in a sequence. It's in one of these quantum things. But something about that realization that the sun.
Oh, we lost her. She
Oh.
slid through the
Mm. An unexpected event.
she slid through the crack of the quantum. She'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. So yeah, yeah. Mary, go ahead. Oh, there she is. She's back.
But
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah,
so
goody.
anyway, that the sun. Are you hearing me, or
Yes,
is
we
it
We're
can.
a
hearing.
problem
Yeah,
still?
we got you. Yep.
Okay, that the sun has been somehow not sending the frequencies that she's changing to. I don't know how that is, but we are, with our powers and our creation, opening up in the quantum the new energies she's sending out. And I have no idea what that all means or anything, but that's kind of what I'm sensing.
Yeah,
So that to
beautiful.
me is the power Julia was talking about, and the fire of the
Yeah,
dragons.
beautiful. You can
And
see
Gunny
how
can wink out of existence at a whim.
Goody, when you went off,
Yes,
we said, "Oh,
just
she
like that.
slipped through the quantum crack."
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, Mary, go for it.
Yes, it's really hard to put into words what I got that time. I was listening to the birds outside my windows. There's all sorts of beautiful songs and woodpeckers making a racket some of the time and all these things. And it felt very, very deeply powerful without being anything specific. It
Yeah,
was simply, and I felt as if I was just dropping into it and losing any sense of who I am entirely, just being
yeah,
present with the whole of creation and all these new things. And it wasn't just listening to the lovely bird song, wonderful though that is, it was something about the power of life, I think, the power of life to continually evolve and create new rather than just the same things, as even if they may look the same out in the physical world around us some of the time or a lot of the time, it feels different to me anyway. It feels different. It feels
yeah,
stronger and more purposeful almost. I'm not sure where that word came from, but that's what's popped out. That's purposeful and powerful. There's
yeah,
something there about, I think you said earlier, Solera, about it not just being about us, about the weave having an energy and an impulse of its own.
yeah. It's come alive. It's like a living field as opposed to a construct of things. So yeah, beautiful. And Ariel, I would love to hear what you're getting. Do you feel like sharing? Oh, you're on mute, by the way. You're on mute, Ariel. Yep.
I've just been kind of observing, and I'm fascinated by how people can articulate, what they're experiencing. That's wonderful. This last one I saw more like expanding concentric circles in a very vague, way, not, I mean, overlapping with each other, not really
Yeah.
distinct. And it was very powerful, very, very powerful. At one point I was so interested that Colin saw a spider's web. What I saw was butterfly.
I did too.
Did you?
Yes, I saw all the people under sitting on a butterfly wing.
Well, that's interesting. What I saw was the butterfly expanded. I mean, it first was in the middle, and it was, it was moving its wings, and then it just expanded and
Yeah.
encompassed all of us,
Yes.
everyone, and it was magical.
I know, isn't that amazing? There, like when I go into these things, there's so much that happens so fast that I try and encapsulate the core things of it, but there's so much of it. It's all happening in kind of hyperspeed. But the
Yeah,
other thing I want
that
to say is you can see the synergy. Like it's like when we come to create like this with no direction, no instruction as to what to do. We just
right.
go, What wants to happen?
Whatever,
Right. And
observing what.
then each one does their own thing, but something forms in the space of us all together. It's like I used to call it an alchemical pot, but that sounds a little too fixed, but it's like an alchemical creation space.
Well, this is what's most amazing to me about what's happening here is so fluid. It's so
Yeah.
open. And
Yes.
and so I wanted to add a little bit more about my first one, that I didn't share at that time, but um, I've been working for the past 3 decades with ancient goddess energy. And so most recently it's been with Bast from ancient Egypt, Bastet. And so she was coming in too, and I called in others like Kuan Yin and other ones I've worked with over the years, so that they could partake in the new, because they're
Yes.
this ancient old energy. And so I was bringing them consciously. What I was contributing was so that they could experience the new and bring their power and magic and
Yes.
might into the mix. And what I was seeing was filaments too, a lot of very
Hmm.
elaborate filaments, like
Yes.
language of light,
Yeah.
kind of happening with all this process.
Yeah.
And I saw that the second time we did it too,
Yeah.
some filaments, not through the whole thing, but they
Yeah.
did emerge at some point. And I think the filaments are like maybe thoughts that they're, I'm not sure what they are.
Yeah, it's that alchemical creation space. It's not like I think it has this particular, okay, we're going to do this now, folks. I don't think it's like that. I think it's here's a possibility, here's a possibility, here's a mastery over there, here's a genius way of let's throw that in a pot and see what happens.
Uh-huh.
And so
Uh-huh.
in that space, something is forming, is formulating. Something new is formulating. And
I
so,
want, yes, I wanted to add that the second or the first one that we did, what I also saw was that beautiful insignia that you created for the group.
yeah,
That's kind of, um, magical. And it's got filaments in it too, I noticed.
it's got what? Oh, filaments. Yes, it
It's
does.
got
Yeah.
filaments in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because you can't you can't come into this thinking you know what's going to happen. You have to be surprised. But at the same point, like Colin said at one point when he was describing it, you are the instigator, a creator of it, a maestro at play. At the same time, you're the source of life and the universe and creation, and and you're everything. You're all life. It's like it's not a paradox anymore. You moved from polarity through paradox into mega possibilities, interweaving and intercreating with themselves to see what comes of it. Almost is I think what we're doing.
Well, it's so interesting to have all these different perspectives. I loved what Julia did with the train. I would never have a train in any of my visioning, but I can understand the power and the strength, of movement that the train represents. And I really appreciated, hearing that. That's different. And I love this fairy dust and the magic, the dust, sprinkling and all of this that people were doing. It's interesting because it is each of us bringing everything of who we are into
Yes,
the mix. And
yes.
so I love the synergy going on. I really do.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. Yeah. It is each one of us bringing our uniqueness, our genius creatorness into the game with no, and every piece that is contributed, that's collaborative genius fusion, is part of the creation. Like, in business, when they do like green lighting or, idea generation and they put a whole bunch of ideas on, and then they pick one, right? No, this is like all of it goes in the pot and all of it is part of the formation. There's no idea, there's no contribution that's not a part of it. You see, that's the beauty of it. It's a whole different way of coming into it. So let's do it again, especially now that Brenda's with us.
Hey, what about Santari?
Oh, go for it.
Good Lord. Forgot about Santari.
Yes.
Well, the first pass round, I just experienced an eternal contentment. That's how I would say it. The second pass, I was conscious of a noise, and then I realized that it was me breathing, and in and out, and in and out, very measured, slow breaths. And I related it to water going in and out of a beach. That's sort of like a swishing sound. And then I sort of looked at the beach and I recollected a poem that I wrote some years ago about a Robinson Crusoe. And he was talking about footprints in the sand. And I was thinking here, oh, yes, here humanity once trod. And then the water came in and it erased the footprints. And I was thinking many, many other races and other events have taken place throughout the eternities. We are experiencing a new eternity, a new newness of ourselves being represented in a way that we haven't seen previously. So that's where the newness seems to come in to show you that something has been washed away. And with the incoming tide, there is the opportunity for something to come and almost like be gifted to you or whatever. You'd like it to breathe, to take the breath consciously is to be an awareness, not just accepting that life is going on as it has previously, but that there's a gap in the whole of creation, which is allowing you to see that you are now taking a different rhythm, a different place, a different row, a different step in another direction.
Yes.
So that's what I took from the seeing that picture that was presented to me.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
I think what we're doing here is something is being formed.
Yeah.
Something is forming itself with our conscious direction and sometimes our unconscious direction.
Yes.
But the expansion of the awareness at a different level of consciousness allows you to see that you are operating differently than you have in previous years.
Yeah.
And that to me is a sort of like a an awareness that has no precedent
Yeah.
in my
Oh,
book.
nicely said. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, we're gonna get. Oh, okay, Julie, go for it.
Ariel, may I suggest that your ancients could be coming or being with you as butterflies?
Could be.
And those butterflies are akin to dragons. They are butterflies with the power and the strength.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. Okay, we're gonna do the third one, as we usually do three when we're doing a call like this. So, and then the third one, it tends to get clear what's cooking and lands a bit more, you know? So here we go. We'll just line up and see what happens, okay? Okay. Whew. That really, whew, yeah, Ariel goes, whoa, eyes wide, right? Um, for me, that the whole earth became this living interconnectedness of all life as its own being. And we didn't argue with people say it's always been that way, but the rest of us haven't been operating like that. It's not, but it's like a super powerful source creator beingness that's an interwoven collectiveness of all facets of life. And it has its own sovereignty at a level it wouldn't have had before, is what it feels like. And each of us is like that. Each piece of the whole is a sovereign creator at this, but interwoven in this beautiful life power, this surging creational alchemicalness of us. You could say. That's what I got. I can't wait to hear what the rest of you got on that one. Yeah, Colin.
But for me, that was very similar in that I um, felt a sort of a coming togetherness of everything, and it came here, and then there was just a sort of, ah, like, yeah, we're it. This is what we are. This is who we are. This is how we are. Everything just became just so. And
Yeah.
it was
Can
just,
you
yeah, perfection.
Do you know when we started and I described the difference between conscious innovation, calling in a new possibility, and then reality creation, getting it to kind of land in the fabric, and then future making is how it kind of shows up in everything. You can see well, we just worked through those three levels actually. So it's formulating, and then suddenly it becomes, and then it lands, it embeds in the earth, in life, in us, in the cells, in the air we breathe. So it's available. It's not like you go into reality as it is and try and change it. No, you're inventing a whole new possibility of life
without conscious effort.
without conscious effort. Yeah. Yeah,
Brenda, what
beautiful.
about for you?
Well, it was so interesting. Like as soon as we started, um, my boyfriend is upstairs and he started vacuuming. And then when we ended, like right before we ended, he ended. So I was reminded of the other day, we like to regularly go down to the beach, which is right in front of our house, and see what treasures the universe has for us. And just a couple of days ago on the shore, there was this little statue about maybe 5 inches tall of Ganesh.
Wow.
There, it's just so amazing. We've never had something so amazing wash up on shore.
Yeah.
And so that image of Ganesh and the vacuuming was kind of saying to me that like obstacles are being removed.
Mm.
And so that the energy can move more freely without obstacles in the way.
Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah, love it. Oh, that's fantastic. Yep. Ariel, tell us yours because you went wide-eyed when you came out of that.
Well, I saw so much imagery this time. I don't even know if I can remember all of it, but it started, the wind was blowing here. I could hear my chimes and birds, and it just felt lovely, really lovely going into this. And then I saw almost immediately the butterfly get really large, and then it morphed into a dragon. Where's Julia? It did. I saw a dragon in the center, and then it became this Chinese dog holding that wisdom ball. The intricate lacy kind of. Lacy's not the right word, but the wisdom ball I'm talking about that the
Yeah.
Chinese dogs hold. And then I was seeing birds, all kinds of birds, and I'm trying to remember what the first one I was seeing. I can't remember, but I do remember seeing cranes flying across,
Yeah.
cranes flying. And the sense I got was, just tremendous power, but a soft
Yes.
kind of power. And I was getting these Chinese and Japanese elements, of art coming into it. And I was thinking that because I spent so much, like 10 years in Asia, that I do bring that East and West is actually what my name Ariel Kai was a chosen name back in 1999.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like merge West and East. And so this is something I have to offer that I do have this woven into my being,
Yes.
as a creator being, this very conscious effort to merge in, blend the elements of the East and the West. And um, what I got mostly from this last one was how incredibly complex this process is. It may just happen, but it's also like
Yeah.
it goes at the beginning thing I saw was each person here. I saw this long line of people behind them, like the
Yes.
ancestral lineage that was coming through, with each of us here right now. So there's a weaving of time and in our past lives, and that's all probably we were all very connected in past lives.
Yeah. Isn't it fascinating the synergy of each one as we describe it? You can see the synergy, even though we're not saying the exact same things, but you can get the sense we're describing something that's there and forming and landing and embedding into life. Yeah, beautiful. Anybody else? I know we're over the hour, so hope we're okay. Yeah, Mary, go for it.
I do need to go now, but I wanted to say before I disappear, um, just how amazing the synergy is and how it's all been so beautifully expressed and experienced. There's something about the ancient and the modern and the now and the future all weaving together. As in, there is no time; it's all one, past and present and future anyway. And that image of Gaia as Mother Earth and all the other goddesses that you were talking about, Ariel, and they're all still here. They're just expressing themselves in different ways in the modern and future world. I think that's
Yeah.
I can say at the moment, but everything and what you said, Colin, might as well say, well, yeah, what he said. That's what I got last time because it just felt so beautifully um, clearly and simply expressed what you said just now, which I can't remember now, of course. But anyway, I'll need to leave now and I can catch up with the end of the call later on. But thank you so much,
Yeah.
everybody. Lovely to meet you,
Thanks,
Ariel and
Mary.
Brenda, for the first time.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Bye.
So does anybody else want to share before we go?
Just saying that I've just kind of left the brain thinking out now for because every time you come together, the synergistic energies and just allowing it is bigger than any one of us, but it becomes so big and creative, and I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Centauri?
Okay, I'll be brief. I could almost like see something opening up in the background of where I was looking. And I had that feeling of what it's like to be an artist. I don't consider myself to be an artist per se, but I had that feeling about, oh, the act, the creativity that goes into it without having any thinking about what it is that you're going to create. It just shows up.
Yeah.
And the way that you move with color and the little points of action that you make. And I was seeing that the light gradually grew bigger in the background. So like I was using the light to actually paint this, I'm not even sure what I would call it, no, is it a picture? No, I'm not sure I'd call it, but it's an analogous, oh, what the heck? It is somehow portraying to me that there is an artistry in life which we are learning to appreciate more because we're getting to see that it is so very easy to bring something into life.
Yes.
And that's why I said earlier, you don't use any conscious direction
Yeah.
because that would sort of like shape it in a particular way. And what I'm seeing is something is being shaped in a way that you haven't conceived of,
Yes.
but it is showing up nevertheless because of your act of being present in the working of the creation of
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Beautiful. It's one of the things for me that I think kind of sets alchemists apart. We work with invisible forces, the consciousness, the energies, the vibrational frequencies, the possibilities, the newness. Those are even intelligence and emotive power and alchemical creation. Those are all invisible forces. And yet, I think many, many, many of us of the world over have been coming into this, and some I think knew from when they were kids, and some others, like myself, kind of growing into it recently, and it's this ability to create from the invisible to the visible, to the tangible, to the practical, to the real. It's being able to do this and then bring it in and embody it and land it. And one of the things that we've done many times in the Murmuration of Maestros group is we bring in something brand new and then we live it ourselves. We create a living template for it. So it's real in each one of us in our own ways. And then we gift that into the world. So it becomes a tangible, practical, real thing that you can explain and see how it works, It's kind of like that. So there you go. Oh, that was fabulous. Really fun.
What I do like also is that you don't know the effects of what it is that we might be doing in our conversation together here.
Yeah,
It isn't necessary to follow the movement of it,
yeah,
but to know that it's something that we do together in in a seemingly unorchestrated way
yes,
has an effect that ripples through the consciousness of
yeah,
everybody that we consider to be part of this world and maybe beyond.
yeah. It's why it cannot be directed. You can't direct this. You have to let the spontaneous mastery of each one in the moment be gifted in their own unique ways, and then let it formulate what it's formulating, which is a beautiful thing. Ariel, did you want to say something?
Well, I just want to express my gratitude for this process. I
Oh,
really am fascinated by it. I kind of I journal every morning, and I decided today was going to be a day of creation. And I also wanted to take part in this call, but I didn't realize it was also going to be actually more so than other things I'm doing.
yeah,
A time of creation.
yeah,
And it's really wonderful how it lands as people articulate what they see. I mean,
yes,
I've been a visionary for a long time. I see visions, and then I try to write about it a little bit. But sharing like this with other people who
yeah,
are also visioning, I think it's a powerful practice. I really
yes.
am appreciate what's happening. I really, really appreciate being part of this. Thank you.
Wonderful. Oh, we're thrilled to have you. All of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was fabulous. So I'm going
Thank
to share
you.
this recording in the Alliance group and on some of my social media stuff so other people can join in on the joy of it all. So okay, thanks. Have a magical, wonderful day, week, life from here, and we'll be in touch more. We'll be doing more new things together coming up. So lots of love, everybody. Bye.
Here's to the
Bye.
next
Bye.
one.